This past weekend we saw Game Week 1 begin on Sorare 26, and to be honest, it was one of the best game weeks I've had in a long time. Lads, what's going on? Welcome back to episode 5 of my Sorare 26 journey. Hope you're all doing super well. Let me know in the comment section how you got on this past weekend. Let me know if you got lineups on this midweek. Leave your Sorare gallery name and I'll be giving away a few cards as usual over there. If you are new to Sorare and you're watching this, somehow you found me, hello. And secondly, if you are interested in signing up, there is a little link in the description. It'll get you, I think, $150, pounds or euros of market credits once you sign up if you're a new user. So take advantage of that if you want, no pressure. And yeah, let's get into episode 5. So we're going to be reviewing Game Week 1, which was last weekend, and then looking forward to Game Week 3, which is this upcoming weekend, where the Bundesliga is back, finally. So yeah, I'll be going through everything I've sort of won, lost, sold, bought. I've updated the Sorare 26 tracker as far as like what have I spent, how much have I won. We'll have a little look on Sorare Inside as far as like who are the best matchups and stuff. I'll talk about some of the players I'm sort of interested in right now, and yeah, we'll just have a good time, hopefully. So first of all then, let's go back and have a look at what happened last weekend, Game Week 1. We had every league back effectively, bar the Bundesliga, and it was a cracking weekend. Like, it was insane as far as like cash rewards. It was just under $620, and that's not including streaks. I think including streaks, I hit $170 worth of streaks. So what's that? Just under $800 in cash. That's including ceiling bonus. I did win one card, which was a tier 2, and 5,514 essence between rare and super rare, and then a bit of XP. It was an insane game week for me. Like, genuinely, I hit 4 out of 5 streaks. I'll go through all them in a minute. It just popped off for me for some reason. Everything kind of clicked. Certain comps I did well in where I'd never even dreamed of doing well. The Ligue 1 comp, so this is 5x streaks right now for Ligue 1 and Premier League, Bundesliga, and La Liga. Bundesliga, like, if you buy Bundesliga cards right now, you still have a chance to get in on the 5x, but if you've missed the streak the first week in Ligue 1, La Liga or Premier League, then you don't get 5x, you get 2x. Anyway, thankfully I did hit the first streak. It was only 400 points. I hit 441. I managed to get 6% like multi-club and cap 260 bonus on this, and it really paid off. Got my captaincy right. Lyon got the clean sheet. I was very close to using Diouf. I might have used Diouf in the video. As you can see, I've got my Nice top on today because I have bought an in-season Diouf for this weekend. But yeah, things went well. Even with like 2 blanks, like, okay, 11 AA, 6 AA, it's not great. But the fact that like not everyone popped off and it still scored 441, I'm really pleased with. Okay, there's some good scores down here, but so yeah, that got us over 1,000 essence. It got us $167 because we hit the $100 streak. And the birth of the La Liga budget boys ended in a 14th place win. I think top 20 get cash with the ceiling bonus, and because I used Gaia for my sins, who should have had a last man tackle, but that's a different a story for a different day. I end up getting 24% extra on my cash and my essence because of using the unique. Obviously, Captain Yamal. I don't think I'll ever sell this card, by the way. Like, I'm just if you can ever be in love with a virtual JPEG. Not that there's real life JPEGs, but you know what I mean. He's the one. Nothing's gonna change there. Escandel got like 40 AA almost in a 2-0 loss. So he faced a ton of shots. So I'm really pleased with his performance. It could have got a lot better. Like, there's some very average scores from Puado, Fornals, and Gaia. And this was with like a Real Madrid and a Barcelona clean sheet. Mbappe scored well. Okay, Vinny didn't score too well. But regardless, like, over the moon with how we've sort of recouped a decent chunk already there. We hit the first streak in the Jupiler League. I don't want to spend too much time looking back, but I'll just scan through everything else. So we did hit the first streak in Jupiler League. I missed the third streak last weekend. Eredivisie was insane. Like, the budget boys again pop off in super rare. We finished, 10th I think in the end when it loads. Yeah, 10th. I captained my goalkeeper, which is something. It's a cardinal sin. I never captain goalkeepers on Sorare normally, and the only reason I did do that is because I genuinely didn't really believe in my outfielders. Like, I genuinely thought De Graaf had the best chance of scoring well. Thankfully he did, and it got me $156 and a bit of essence. So over the moon with how that went. And the Rays did well. Also we managed a bit of We hit the second streak in both lineups technically, even though we had a DMP there. But yeah, captaincy right in both. Well, I guess De Graaf. I should have captained De Graaf 3 times in theory, because he scored 7 points more than Cherry. But yeah, unbelievable. Couldn't have imagined the Eredivisie one going that well. I'll get onto it, but I am going to be skipping the streaks in Eredivisie this weekend because I don't have many goalkeepers playing. I don't have enough players, basically, is what I'm getting at there. MLS, when it loads, Sorare has been really slow recently, by the way. There's a lot of graphics and whatever. Maybe it's just my computer, but it's so slow for me loading lineups. But anyway, we hit the streak by 1 point. Now, with my MLS streaks and cash won and stuff, I don't include that in the MLS tracker. Like 2 weeks ago, I won like $800 in Super Rare with my in-season MLS Super Rares, which I don't have anymore. I sold them off. And because like MLS isn't really in Sorare 26, like it is, but I'm not calculating it in that sense. So like when I said I won $170 of streaks this weekend, I've only put down I've won 160 because $10 from MLS, I'm not really counting it because like I said, I haven't really, like forecasted or just tracked my MLS stuff, if you know what I'm saying. But we did hit a bit of XP on that, on top of the $10 of streaks. I think Challenger was a bit of a disaster, to be fair. We picked up a bit of Essence, but nothing too crazy. I know it's not loading very well, is it? But yeah, a little bit of Essence. We did get relegated from D1 in one of our lineups, but thankfully to Trincao, we stay in D1 for the other. Champion, it was the birth of the Champion SO7 comp. I didn't do great, to be honest. I had a few scores like sort of scattered around as we all do. But unfortunately, yeah, nothing too concise. I didn't manage to get everything in, all my ducks in a row, so to speak. Got a few clean sheets, like Bizot got a clean sheet. So sorry, the graphics are just completely taking the piss right now. So I'm quite tempted just to sack this off, basically. But U23, I won a bit of Essence. And then Arena, I might be able to show you if it loads, but Arena, I spent 1,200 Essence. I'll show you on the tracker. I spent 1,200 Essence. I did 7 normal arenas and two uncapped arenas, which cost 250 each, not 100 Essence each. And I ended up being just net, basically, like net zero. I won 1,200 back, but I did gain 4,000 XP, so I'm really happy about that. First time all season we've hit leaderboard cash, which was great in rare, that is. We did hit a good amount of Essence, the most leaderboard Essence so far, which makes sense because I had the most cards so far available, to me. Street cash, $160, like I said. That's the most we've had so far as well. Again, everything's almost playing now apart from Bundesliga. I showed you my Essence stuff. I won on top of my, I have an 8% ceiling bonus, so I won $7 extra of ceiling cash. And I won, because I won that tier 2 and you get Essence bonus on that. I won 160 Essence just on top of that tier 2 that I won, and then 200, just off the 2,500 leaderboard Essence. So yeah, Rare was a really successful week across the board, really, which I really didn't expect. Super Rare, again, we somehow managed to sneak onto the leaderboard cash. 450 it turns out as 1,350 leaderboard Essence, 500 XP, $78 of ceiling Essence, like bonus one. Now that includes like the Gaia 20%, which isn't ceiling. It's like unique bonus, but I don't really know where else to put it, so it's just going there. Sorare calculated it as that, so that's why I put it there. And then 104 Essence on top of the 1,350. So yeah, overall, genuinely, like, couldn't have asked for much more. Honestly, really, really couldn't. And I'm super excited to attack some streaks this weekend. So this weekend, if it wants to load, we'll be going for, I think, again, 5 streaks. Let's have a look. We'll look at them in our missions first. But yeah, so I'm on the second streak in Ligue 1, so that's the big one. I need to hit 420 points for the $200. The third one is massive. Like, technically, I hit 441 points right last weekend. That would have won $1,000 in 2 weeks' time, which, it didn't matter. I didn't win it, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I know I'm capable of scoring that type of point. MLS were on the second streak. I need to at least get to 3 streaks in, 3 streaks in a row in MLS to get into that special comp, which you need 3 or 5 streaks for. So yeah, $20 potential from there. We're back to the second streak in Jupiler League. So I went first streak successful, second streak successful, missed the third. Last weekend I got the first streak back. This weekend we're going to be going for that second. Eredivisie, I am on the third streak, but like I said, I'm not going to play Eredivisie this weekend because my matchups just aren't good, and I don't have my goalkeepers. Basically, like Tom de Graaf doesn't have a game for Zwolle, so I'm just completely, not bothering there. And then I am going to be going for the contender streak. I'm back in contender. I'll show you what I'm doing there. I am back in contender. There's only a couple more days worth of the double. Sorry, so there's a month and 8 days worth of the double reward. So it'll stay, $20, $40, $200. But the easier points target is going after this weekend, basically. So you only need to hit 275 points this weekend for $20. Next weekend, if you're going to play contender, you're going to need to hit 400 points. So it gets a lot harder. So I've just built like a really budget team to try and get that over the line. And I just see there, Sorare have just given us a little notification that the division battles are live this weekend. So this next game week, so game week 3, there's 4 division battles that will take place. Bundesliga in season, All-Star, Champion, and Under 23. So yeah, there's a lot on the line this weekend in Classic as well. So hopefully we can get some D1s there. So yeah, technically I'm going for 1, 2, 3... No, yeah, 3 Jupiler, 4, 5. I'm going for 5 streaks again. I could go for 6 with Eredivisie, but I'm not going to, as I've already mentioned. So yeah, let me get into what I've done as far as buys and my buys go, basically. So in Belgium, all I've done is bring in a defender from Dender. I'll do this. It's a lot easier this way, actually. I do kind of like how you can just segregate everything off, obviously, in the filters. So yeah, I've not done too much other than I crafted Dan Heyman last midweek. I don't know whether I mentioned that actually. Well, you wouldn't have saw that, but yeah, I crafted him from last midweek's essence. I did buy another Michael Verrips, but I think I've mentioned that in last week's video. I am trying to sell one of those because I bought this with credits, so I can't sell him yet, but I can sell the first one I bought. When did I buy? Yeah, so I've got the first one I ever bought up for sale. And I bought this one with credits. Obviously, I can't sell it yet, but I basically paid 20 quid for this. I'm trying to sell this one for 40, trying to sort of double my money on this one, even though I'm not actually selling that one. I know that might be confusing. But anyway, I've brought in a defender to go in to my Belgium lineup, so hopefully we can hit the streak this weekend. I didn't have... I think that got me 1% on Dender as well, collection bonus-wise. So yeah, I've spent just under 370. I've won 60 so far, hoping to hit that £30 this weekend. In Eredivisie, I haven't done much other than I did craft, if you watch my video on Tuesday, I did craft a Jordan Boss. Moved from Westerlo. He is a final player now. He's a pretty good player. Like he goes for like 20 odd quid. Decent score. He hasn't really done too much yet other than that decisive against Fenerbahce, but somebody that I'll definitely, I'm more than happy to have in my ranks, and obviously I didn't pay for him, so that's even better. As far as Challenger goes, obviously, I've spent a decent amount in Challenger, just over £400, but like a lot of players, like there's a lot of quantity here rather than like condensed quality in season. I did go and buy for my sins, a Celtic card, and I also won a Celtic card yesterday, which was Adamida. Adamida was that tier 2 that I won from All-Star last weekend. And I did buy a Luke McCowan because I think he's going to start this weekend because Celtic are playing in the Champions League, and I think they're going to rotate quite heavily because they drew yesterday in the Champions League against like some team from like Kazakhstan or something. So they go away there next week. I think he comes in personally, if not at least off the bench. And then I did buy this guy to come in as my defensive stack with my goalkeeper. So I have Stankovic, I think the goalkeeper's name is. I brought in the 1 of 100 centre back that plays with him. He's been scoring really, really well. Hopefully that continues. I paid 23 quid for him, so he's on the tracker. Going for the first streak again. I missed the streak, or the third streak, this weekend. So yeah, currently at like a 10% net sort of cash back there. League Earn, I have gone and spent a decent amount over the last few days because I am going to try and get 2 lineups out, I think. So yeah, I've definitely done a decent amount of buying in League. I'm just going to show you Super Rares in season, But yeah, so basically what happened was I started buying Nice cards to begin with, thinking I was going to do like a Nice stack because they do have some really good fixtures. I then bought like a Højbjerg and then a Dumbia before last weekend and a Tyler Morton, and I was like, you know what? I think those matchups are better than like the Nice stack. Thankfully that worked out. I hit the streak, whatever. I then bought the a couple of Brest or Stade Brestois collection pieces for Dumbia because it was that, buy 5 get 1 free. I ended up getting the same card that I bought for free, so that didn't really work out too well. Regardless, it helps me with collection bonus. And then 2 days ago, sorry if I'm speaking too fast, I've just got so much to go through. I just don't think I'm going to get through it in time. So maybe maybe watch on 0.75 speed or something if you need. But then I brought in a Diouf. So I was sort of scouring the auctions. They have a good matchup this weekend at home again. Okay, they didn't keep a clean sheet first game against Toulouse. They conceded really late on, which is worrying. Don't get me wrong. But I do rate Diouf. I think he's a good keeper, and I hope Nice can kind of turn it around. Although it's not looking great right now as far as like transfers, outgoings, and stuff go. Looks like Jonathan Klaus is actually going to leave. But yeah, I bought this Diouf 2 days ago. Sorry, for £170 almost. And before that, I mean, I know that one's 180, but like he was selling for almost double before the first game of the season. So there was a lot of sort of 5x streak tax, shall we say, on cards in general. And now that people have missed out on the streaks, they're just, cards aren't going for as much. But, I'm in maybe a unique position in the Ligue 1 comp in that I did hit the streak. So I am quite interested in sort of getting better cards basically for the second game week to continue my streak. There's obviously other people that are as well in other comps, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I was thankful that, he's basically halved in price. That looked like to me, a buy signal. And I went in. And then over the last, as you can see, 21 hours, I have also brought in a couple of extra cards. Klaus I've bought because I want to play Bundesliga in season, and it looks like he's going to buy Leverkusen. So I bought the Nice version because I've got collection bonus. Paid 68 quid for him. He was selling for like 200 quid start of the. He hasn't been over the last few days, but when he first came out like 2 weeks ago as a Nice player, he was selling for that, and I think he'll be probably better as a Leverkusen player. Maybe shares set pieces and stuff with Grimaldo or whatever, or maybe doesn't get any, but I think he'll be half decent there if it does go through. I then brought a Mangala Sarr in because I thought he was not cheap, but I was really impressed with his scores against Lyon. Considering they lost 1-0, 33 AA with a yellow card, and they conceded. So that's like a 50-60 AA game if that doesn't happen. Okay, he's got some blunders in him, don't get me wrong, but I did think I needed him for this weekend. They play Le Havre away, and I think I just want to get involved in his potential scoring. I then bought a few more Strasbourg cards. I rate Murray. I've got his super rare. He's coming back from injury. So he's on a bit of an injury discount right now. And then Lamarchal, however you pronounce it. Lamarchal. He's like a number 10 for Strasbourg. I was just, there was an offer on earlier where you like buy a card, you get Essence or a card sort of for free if you buy them on auction. And I was like, I want to increase this Strasbourg collection since I got the Højbjerg. Like the Højbjerg's my holy grail. Like I've been mentioning Højbjerg on this series for the last month. So if you didn't get involved in Højbjerg, what can I say? I've definitely warned you about how good he is. I won his Super last year, followed him from Norgesland, and he pulls out a 50 AA game in his first game for Strasbourg. But it does look like he might have a minor injury, so that's why I've kind of brought in reinforcements in the form of Mangala Sarr. And then I did buy two Abner Vinicius because he's going to start left back for Lyon this weekend. I'm actually looking to try and flip one, so I basically bought them for like £11 each. I'll just show you what I'm thinking here. I bought them for £11 each, but you get obviously Essence and some wheel spins or whatever wheel spins with it. So I've gained 200 Essence from them. I want to probably keep one because I'm going to make 2 Ligue 1 lineups with a classic keeper. That's the Ligue 1 stuff out of the way. Challenger super rare. I have bought a couple of. I bought them before last weekend, but I don't think I showed you in the video because I didn't have them at that point. But I did go out and buy some Galatasaray super rares. So you might have saw that I did buy that, or maybe you didn't. But like I've basically gone out and bought a second in season team for Challenger. I like Challenger. I like the fact that you can merge teams from different leagues and stuff. And yeah, I've obviously bought another goalkeeper defender stack outside of the St. Mirror one that I bought in Vitoria. So I got Charles and Jean Mendes. I then bought a Zubkov, set piece taking midfielder for Trabzonspor. And then I bought 2 Gala boys on auction. Lamina went for £122 7 days ago, which, I mean, at the time I thought it was pretty good considering like someone instant bought one for 300. Now I know it doesn't really matter what other people bought, but it made me feel a bit better. And then the Salai one, honestly, I couldn't believe. Okay, I got him for £64. I'm getting offers almost for like 200 quid on him right now, which I'm denying right now, but I might end up if they come back, then I might end up selling. I did get a little collection piece as well to go with the Vitoria lads to get them to 1%. But yeah, the Sly one, I've got them up for sale just in case I get any nibbles on them. But yeah, brought them in. What we on? Just over 1,200, or just under 1,200 spent. I've only won £50 from there so far, so a decent amount to recoup. But at the same time, I'll have 2 lineups going out. I've got some really good classic smashers. I'm confident that I can kind of make that back and more, with things falling into place. Nothing's changed in Eredivisie other than I've basically won back the amount that I spent, which I'm over the moon about. Spent 131, I've won 115, and we're 2 game weeks in. Like, that is... that doesn't normally happen in this game, so I've got really, really lucky there. And even to get some of these super rares for like £9 because nobody cared about Excelsior, which, I'm obviously thankful for. And then the La Liga stuff. So I have brought in 1 extra player. Let me show you. Since last week, I believe. So I crafted this Hugo Recon. I don't know too much about him, to be fair. So if there's any Girona sort of, fans or anything watching this, I can't imagine there is, but maybe you know Girona a lot better than me. Let me know what you think of this guy. He's under 23, played for Mirandas last season, I believe, on loan from Bilbao. He did come off the bench first game. Like I said, I crafted him this past weekend. And then I did buy a Mingueza yesterday. So Mingueza is now my defensive cover for Gaia. Outside of Gaia, who's my unique classic, I don't have any other, I don't have any in-season defenders outside of that Hugo Recon that I just crafted. But yeah, first one went for 240. Sorry, I got the 4 off for 187. Set piece taking defender. They're rare to have at the end of the day, and I think in certain matchups he can really peak. Clean sheet, decisive from a corner, whatever. Those are things that like can happen, and if they do, you're talking massive points. So he comes in as he just helps me basically a lot, and it means I don't have to rely on Gaia all the time. Another little thing I will mention, I did actually also bring in another classic unique La Liga defender. He's not in season, so let's go to all. I brought in Dani Calvo. Now he's not on the spreadsheet because he's classic, so like I'm not counting the classic cards that I buy here in this spreadsheet. This is all in season only, okay? Just for anyone that didn't know. Dani Calvo was the centre back, captain for Oviedo. I obviously have a Escandel in season super rare. So in matchups where I know Oviedo aren't going to have that many good matchups, but he was a great scorer in La Liga too, and I'm not saying that definitely translates. Don't get me wrong. He's a threat from set pieces, and for £70 with that sort of collection bonus, XP, I couldn't really say no, basically. Like the in-season Dani Calvo super rare went for like 110. So to get the classic unique for, almost not half, but, not too close, not too far from that, like £104, sorry, and you can instant buy it for 150. So I'm really happy with that, to be honest, and he gives me, again, a lot more depth outside of Gaia and Mingueza. So yeah, over the moon with all that to say that the P&L tracker is looking like this. Just under £4,000 spent, £739 won. This is just from streaks, leaderboard cash, and that is it basically. I haven't counted anything that like I've sold player wise, because I haven't actually sold anyone like in these sort of bulks of players. Like I haven't sold anyone genuinely. I've sold bought and sold other players like Premier League players and stuff, but I'm not counting any of that in this. This is just like, what can I spend on in-season cards? What can I recoup basically? I just want to keep it as simple as possible. Obviously I've like crafted cards and stuff, which I'm counting them as £0 worth of spent, if you know what I mean. It gets confusing, right? The accounting's tricky, but all that to say, we're basically 20% of the way there of recouping what we've spent so far. So after 2 or 3 game weeks, I don't think you can ask for too much more. I'm sure there's other people with way better percentages, some with way worse. That's just part of this game. But for me, I'm really, really happy with where like all my teams are, right? I'm playing Belgium in season, I'm playing Eredivisie in season, rare that is, Challenger, Ligue 1, so I'm playing like 4 in season rare lineups and then 3 in season super rare lineups. So I'm giving myself a chance of, recouping that cash from different places. There's some people that will just be all in on Prem, and I get it. Like, I completely get that, why someone would concentrate all on there. But I love this game so much. I love, sort of not spreading myself too thin, but I like playing multiple competitions. Gives you multiple chances of streaking. Gives you multiple chances of winning leaderboard cash. Of course, you're not going to be as strong as I would. Like, say if I put $4,000 into just Prem, well, then it might, it's a different story. Then I might have a really, really, really strong Prem team, but I'm not having any fun anywhere else, right? So, there's pros and cons to all of it. We're all different, and this is just how I like to play the game. So, yeah, that's the sort of buys and sells out the way. And yeah, let's get into some lineup building for this weekend. I did pre-build. I won't build every single lineup that I'm going to build because we'd literally be here all day. But I'm going to build all my streaking lineups basically. And then a couple of the main classic lineups. So for example, I've already built my my under 23 lineup because basically if you make this lineup before the L15 points change. So if I made this, well, I made this lineup before the deadline Tuesday, like the midweek deadline. If you do so, all their L15s lock, and Juan Larios had an L15 as 0, and so I was able to fit in some good L15 players here and stay under the cap. So I've got 6% on it. Whereas if I edit this lineup and then confirm it again, I won't be. I think I'm actually 1 point over the cap, so I'll lose 4% on each player, XP wise, or whatever you want to call it. So yeah, that's why that's already pre-built. I built that 2 days ago. I was going to have a little look on Sorare Inside though, just to see what the match odds are for, just for all the different comps this weekend. We'll group it by, should we group it by, we'll group it by competition. And just do win, we'll just have a look at win percentages basically. That's obviously clean sheet percentages are obviously really helpful as well, as are XG and whatever, but win percentages will normally give you a decent indication of, how that game should go on paper, but obviously, it doesn't always sort of go that way. But you've got Argentina there, so Boca Juniors is the obvious favourite. Austria Vienna, the best matchup in Austria, and Salzburg actually. I've got a few cash point players I'll attach, so yeah, they're not too far behind at 51% win percentage. Belgium's an interesting one. Saint Galois, USG are the only really good matchup, I would argue. Dender's okay. I've got a few Dender boys, as I do Antwerp. But yeah, there's not all the Belgian players not all the Belgium teams are playing this weekend. Flamengo are massive favourites in Brazil. Chile, we can kind of skip that. China, I don't really care about China. Colombia, the same. Croatia, Zagreb are massive favourites at home, as are Rijeka. But Zagreb fixture there looks pretty tasty for contender. Denmark, Copenhagen are 72% on, so I'm hopefully going to be launching my Matson, into a 100 points again this weekend, but I don't know. I don't think that'll happen. Midtjylland 61 as well. Brøndby 56 away from home is pretty impressive, so that looks to be a good matchup there for them. Nordsjælland at 48, not terrible. We've got a bit of Ecuador. We've got the Championship. Birmingham at home to Oxford. Obviously not in season at all, but, Wrexham at home to Sheff Wednesday. Decent matchup there. Albion at home to Portsmouth. And then Prem. So Arsenal at home to Leeds are the massive favourites this weekend. Mind you, City at home to Tottenham isn't too far behind. Chelsea a decent favourite in fairness. Yeah, Bournemouth. Bournemouth could be the sneaky stack, I think, against Wolves. If you've got a budget stack that isn't Arsenal, Bournemouth could probably do pretty well there. I also fancy Sunderland to do pretty well. I know their odds aren't massively favouring them, but Burnley don't look too great right now. I know it's only one game, but yeah, I fancy Sunderland there. PSG are gigantic favourites against Angers, 93% on. Olympique Marseille obviously 73%, not too terrible. Lyon 71, Nice is 61%, which is great, and Strasbourg as well. So I've got a lot of Strasbourg, Nice, Lyon, and Marseille players actually in my lineups, and I do have Lens players as well with Mangala Sarr. So yeah, I'm on the better end of the matchups this weekend in the French league, which is great. We've got French second division there. Germany's obviously back, so that's the Bundesliga 2. Bayern Munich, obviously massive favourites Friday night against Leipzig in the first game of the season there. Leverkusen at home to Hoffenheim looks pretty good. For the streaks, Dortmund maybe away to St. Pauli. Might not get a clean sheet, but maybe outscore St. Pauli. We've got Frankfurt at home, Freiburg at home, not terrible. And then we've got Italy. Oh, Italy's back as well. Sorry, I've been saying Germany's the only league not back, but yeah, obviously we've got Italy back. So you can play Italian players now in Challenger or Champion Classic, which is just odd, but it is what it is. Milan at home, massive favourites. Atalanta the same, as are Inter Milan. Juve, to be fair as well. Yeah, all the big clubs at home to start the season. Serie B, we've got a bit of Japan, not too many big favourites there. Bit of Mexico, Netherlands. Not all the teams are playing in the Netherlands this weekend, but yeah, PSV home favourites against Groningen, Ajax home favourites against Hercules. I just don't have players from these teams, right? I have Excelsior boys there away to Utrecht, so yeah, I'm not going to be playing the rare Eredivisie comp this weekend. I might play the super rare one, but again, I don't think I have a goalkeeper. We've got Norway, Peru, a bit of Portugal, which I'm excited about. Benfica are at home, but they might rotate a little bit, which is scary. Porto are at home as well, so good matchups there. And Sporting, yeah, Sporting looking incredible right now. Even despite, sort of losing Gyökeres. Bit of Russia, bit of Scotland. Celtic are massive favourites, like I mentioned earlier with the McCowan, but they could heavily rotate. So yeah, having like the second string Celtic players might really help there. Hearts are big favourites against Motherwell. Rangers away, but they don't look great right now. South Korea, moving on to Spain. Atletico Madrid are massive favourites. Obviously, Barca away to Levante. Madrid away to Real Oviedo, my boys. So hopefully we can hold on for a 0-0 draw there. Don't think that's going to happen. Villarreal at home to Girona, not too terrible. Betis, not terrible either. Sociedad at home to Espanyol, the same. So yeah, obviously Barca and Real stacks probably mooning again. We've got the Segunda, Switzerland, Turkey. Fener at home, but they play midweek again against Benfica, so rotations galore there. Gala away. Gala look really strong despite being away. And then we got a bit of MLS to finish. And yeah, so yeah, there's some really good matchups, across the board. That doesn't necessarily mean to say your teams are gonna score well, but obviously gives you, a fighter's chance. Okay, Ligue 1 then. This is my main priority this weekend. Can I get this lineup correct? Can I get above 420 points, which would, ensure, the second streak, and then it means we can fight then for that third streak next weekend for $1,000, which would be massive. Like, that pays off the whole thing. I really, really like the look of Tyler Morton right now. Liverpool academy player. Leon bought him. He's taken all the set pieces so far. He's playing a bit deeper, so I can't expect too many sort of like decisives from him if they're not from set plays. But at the same time, he's very capable. So yeah, keep an eye on him. He's a really good one. His L15 is pretty low as well. Utilising one of the classic spots, we're going to go with Greenwood up front. And then for our extra player, so we're miles under the cap, we have to pick an in-season player. Kamori Dumbi had a wicked start to life in Ligue 1 against Lille with 2 goals. They're awaited to lose. I'm not a fan of away fixtures, as we all know, but I do think this is probably the one to pick. Like, I could go with Abner Vinicius. It's a good matchup at home, but I just think Dumbi has got a higher ceiling. Again, I could go with like Maria if he was fit. Lamachurel, Højbjerg would be my go-to, but I'm worried that he's not going to play. So I do have to play it safe, unfortunately. And that's my main lineup in the French league this weekend. Just under the cap, so we do get the 6%, which is great. And we are in D1. So, as much as I'm really hoping to hit the streak, we've got a hell of a chance of hitting some cash as well. So let me go. Sorry, Sorare's lagging a little bit. So yeah, I'm in D1 thankfully for this one. And the really interesting thing about this, because the PSG stack didn't really do too well last week, I can't imagine too many players in D1 actually have that many like PSG players, unless they've bought them since, which obviously could happen. But top 40 get cash. So that's like 1 in 3 of the players so far. Obviously, more people will join, but like it's not going to go above 200, I don't think. 3,000 for the top is huge. Never mind the streak as well. So, and then yeah, my second lineups are in D3. So yeah, hopefully we hit the streak at minimum, and then we'll see what happens in D1. I could then go with either a Nice stack with Diouf, but I did bring in 2 really cheap Remy Deschamps classic cards for like £6 each. They've bought a new keeper, so I don't think he's going to be the long-term number 1. They brought in Dominic Grief from Mallorca, and so yeah, this is very much like a short-term thing. So this is why I bought that Vinicius in, because I've got that Lyon defensive stack. I just want to I could use Diouf again, of course, but I don't want to double up on Nice when I don't have to. So I'm going to go with 2 Nice players here, Bounahi and Le Chez, because Klaus looks like he's off to Germany. We could go with Mendy, but I don't think that makes too much sense. I do think, though, it's either Højbjerg or Lamachurel. They play midweek against Brøndby, so I'm a bit cautious on what happens there. It's under the cap as well, so 2 lineups, both 6%. Obviously, the second lineup isn't nowhere near as good on paper as the first, but you just never know. So yeah, those are my 2 fighting chances for that first streak. Really, really excited to see if I can hit that. And then we move on to La Liga Super Rare, which is obviously Yamal and the boys. Yamal is away to Levante, 90% on. Hopefully another 100 points from him. Well, he scored 98 last weekend. But yeah, 100 points would be more than delightful. Oscar Minguez is at 70%, which is interesting. I'm quite not confused, but like, yeah, I hadn't sort of researched it or anything. I don't know whether there's a bit of jeopardy behind him, so I'm just going to go on Football Fantasy and have a look what's going on. They've got him at 80%, so I trust both, but I just like to double check sometimes. Valencia are away to Osasuna, not an easy game. I have got a lot of these players listed just in case people come in with silly offers or anything. Of course, I have Dean Huijsen, who I was gutted about winning. All those. It wasn't all those years ago. It was last season, beginning of the season, where he wasn't even a starter for Bournemouth, and then ends up going to Real Madrid, which you could kind of see was going to happen after a few weeks of how good he was at Bournemouth. But the issue is I can't play him and Yamal, which would be great, but it's not possible. So Mingueza goes in defence. We're not going to get the bonus, I don't think, on this lineup because I am just going to go with 5 Super Res, sorry. We're then going to go with Pablo Fornals at home to Alaves. Feels like a good matchup. I can get behind that. And then for the extra position, I think it has to be Xavi Puado away to Sociedad. It's not easy, but you never know. Little penalty or something, that's all I need to get me a decisive. He got 12 AA last game, which I thought was really, really pleasing against Atletico Madrid. So yeah, that's going to be the La Liga lineup for this weekend. And then moving over to the Belgium League, looking to get the second streak here, $40. Not much to really choose from, to be honest. It's just going to be the Dender defensive stack. I think actually I don't have to, but I'm pretty sure I'm kind of forced to go double defense here without not the same, they're not from the same team basically. One Antwerp defender and one Dender defender, but that's fine. It doesn't really bother me. I just don't have that many in-season cards from Belgium right now. So it could go Taniguchi, but he's not predicted to start. So we're going to go with Big Adam Zorgan. This gets me 6% as well. As you can see, I am a big fan of this sort of multi-club and Cap 260 bonus thing. If you can get it, if it's like a detriment to your, if it's the choice between using like a 5-man lineup that has like L15 to 65s everywhere, then obviously use that because if they've got good matchups, they should score really well. But if you're got an average-ish lineup and you can kind of sort of wangle it to where it does get under 260 for in season, I do think it's really worth it because those bonuses definitely add up, and the field sometimes might not be doing that, so it does differentiate you on the leaderboard, even potentially having similar players to other people. MLS streak number 2. All our goalkeepers that we want to play are away, bar Mitrovic, who is at home to the Rapid. So I think I'm going to go in with him for now. Engel in defence. Carlos Gil away to the Crew isn't the best matchup in the world, but I think it'll do. And then we could go into our classic players, and it has to be Evander, doesn't it? Where's Evander to? Evander at home to New York City. We don't get the 260 bonus, but we do get the multi-club, so 2% bonus, or lineup bonus, on that. And yeah, I'm only going to do one MLS lineup here. I'm going to use all my other MLS cards in Arena, basically, or All-Star, potentially both. As far as Challenger goes, we are looking to do 2 lineups this weekend in Challenger. So Shamal George doesn't have predictions yet, but he should be starting against Rangers. But I am going to go in with my Vittoria keeper for now, just because he is away, but it is just a better matchup. And then I'm going to go with Zubkov at home for Trabzonspor. Matson's fully nailed, which I do like the look of that. Franjo should play. He didn't start the midweek game, but yeah, I think Matson's just a little bit punchier right now than Franjo. Obviously, just moved to Benfica. In defence, we have to go with an in-season card, so I'm just going to go with the defensive stack. And then for the extra player, I'm basically forced to either go Roland Salai or Lamina, effectively. I could go Elijah Just, actually, but the matchup isn't great there. I'm probably going to have to go Salai there, to be honest. All 3 of these players are quite captain capable, but I think Matson's just edging it for me, the fact that he's at home. And he didn't start midweek. So that lineup's honestly, I think, is really good. Gets the 6% bonus as well. It all depends on the defensive stack. If the defensive stack can get the clean sheet, you've got half a chance. But at the same time, I can easily see it like not happening. And then for the secondary lineup, which I don't think will look as good, or in fact it definitely won't look as good, but Lamina, I think I am forced to go in classic defender here. Like I'm going to play Otamendi as my captain sort of defender. And then for the extra player, it probably has to be Elijah Just, to be honest. Motherwell are away. It's a really tough game. But at the same time, 6% on the thing. I know Lamina's a bit dodgy. He didn't trade today. But for now, that's all I can really do. So yeah, hopefully, the more Super lineups I can get out in season, the easier it'll be to churn essence, basically, which means obviously I can get more cards out, which is just not a bad thing. I mentioned that Zek guy I got for the Altac stack, so that's the defensive stack I'm going in with. Really good home fixture here for them. Thiago Silva, I wish I had his super rare, but I don't. He plays for Vitória as well. Takes set pieces. Up front, it kind of has to be Trincao, doesn't it? Like, the guy is just ridiculous right now. So in this scenario here, 229 points, and I basically need 31 points to stay below the cap. I'm doing myself a disservice if I'm going to play a player at 31 L15, just to get under the cap here. So in this scenario, I don't bother, But if I was at if I had a bit more to play with, 50 all around, 50 L15, I might consider it. But at this point, it's just not doable. And then for the extra player, depends what happens this midweek with Bromby, because they could definitely rotate. Extra player is a bit tricky here, to be honest. It probably has to be Stuart Finley, but I know it could be Stuart Finley, defender. Elijah Just is down here. Noah Markman as well. I don't really like any of these options. I think I'm going to go with Elliot Watt. He's got really good AA score against better teams, and Hearts are just a better team than Motherwell right now. Maybe marginally, but that's going to be the main lineup for Challenger, which is in D1. Secondary lineup is in D2. And that's going to consist of... I actually have the goalkeeper playing against Altac, which is really not annoying, but they're probably just going to get battered. So I think I'm going to go Shamal George here. I've got a couple of nice defender options. Again, depends on how they play this midweek. I hate players who have midweek fixtures for that reason. It's just so hard to get everything... just to plan out your week, because you don't know what's going to happen because they haven't played yet, So it just becomes really frustrating. But I'm just going to go with the players that I think have, good chances of starting for now. So we'll go with the Motherwell lads up front in midfield. And then there's a little cheat code. I'm actually quite tempted, right? And I think it can get under 260 as well. I did bring in a Bastoni, which, this does bring me under the 260 cap. I'm going to go Bastoni at home to Torino there. I think that could be a 100 capable spot for him. And he's an Italian card, so I don't think many people will use Italian cards, but I do think it's kind of cheat codey. It's on Monday night as well, so I'll be having to patiently wait for that to come, to happen. And then for the third lineup, this will be sort of the leftover in season guys. Again, depends on if we've got if Valleys is starting, for example, for Bromby after this midweek. Simon Murray. Akon is kind of dodgy right now, it seems. I am probably going to go with Kiridis, who is the Hearts forward, and then there's our extra player. It's either it's probably Otamendi, isn't it? Really, there's some decent cards here, but I think Otamendi is the obvious one. The obvious one there. Now that's really annoying me. Now I'm one point over. So this is a scenario where I go, okay, is there another player here that could potentially do what Otamendi does? But at the same time, the upside of 4% on the lineup, does that outweigh it? The answer is probably yes. The answer is probably Cameron Carter-Vickers. Now, I'm not fully convinced he starts. He's 70% on right now. But it might be worth the risk, considering it's my third lineup, So in that scenario there, I'm pretty happy to do that. And then Contender. I'm actually playing Contender this weekend again. So start of the series, I was playing Contender, then I fell out of love with it. I was never really in love with it. It was more lust. But now I am back, and I am going to be using some of my... So I bought this in-season Korean player, this Kim Run Sung. I actually have his super rare for a midweek 2 weeks ago, and I bought him with market credits. He was £4, And then I was like, you know what? Let me just go out on the market and buy the cheapest in-season guys I could find from the J League and the K League, and stick them all in the lineup and see if I can win $20 basically. So that's what I'm doing. And yeah, I've got a couple of classic keepers here that I can choose from. So I'm not really out of options here. I actually bought in an Arias for the midweek. I could use him maybe away to Argentinos Juniors. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Give him the armband. Like I said, I just need that lineup to hit 275, and I end up getting $20 from it, which pays for all those in-season cards that I bought. Again, I don't think they've got many more legs in them after that, because the lowest streak is gone after this weekend, so I'd have to hit 400 points. I don't think I'll do that, to be honest. So, but yeah, that's all the in-season lineups, I think. Let's do under 23 Super Rare, because I haven't done that yet. We've done under 23 Rail, at least the main lineup. So for Super Rare, I think I've got one keeper. Yeah, unfortunately, just Tobel Asen right now. Rest of the lads are like second string keepers for other teams. Huyson's an obvious one away to Oviedo. He could just pass his way to 90 quite comfortably, as could Zeno de Bast, who's back in the sporting team, thankfully. I do like the look of Jack McGlynn at home to San Jose. I do like the look of Jashari on his debut for Milan. That could be really interesting. Great matchup at home. And then as far as the forwards go, I've got Chaibi back, which is great, but he plays in midfield, although I've got the forward version. But Bassar Onal has been insane right now. Look at those 2 games for NEC. 2 assists first game, 30 AA on the second game. I'm third. What am I? I've got 67 L15 to spend. I don't even have a player above 67 L15, which means we're going to be below the cap, which, as you know, I bloody love. So let's see who this extra player is going to be. Jankovic is definitely in contention. Chaibi the same. Diego Luna. I'm pretty sure Luna's suspended this weekend, but I could be wrong. I'm actually going to go with Kamori Dumbia. I think he started the season off really well. And yeah, away to Toulouse. Not really too worried about. 6% on the lineup, which makes me very happy. And that's going to be my under 23 side for the weekend. I've just had a counter offer. I don't even know what I offered on. Clinton Mata. Oh yeah, just a collection piece. I don't really need it now, actually, to be honest. Ooh, Simsia has a assist, but I kind of know that Højbjerg is out of the game tonight for Strasbourg, which makes me really, really sad. I'm actually going to go on Twitter really quickly just to have a look. I'll go on SofaScore. It might not be out on SofaScore yet. Little side quest whilst we're live. Midtjylland are 2-0 up. Yeah, Simsia got the assist for the second one. Who did I want to look at? It was Strasbourg, wasn't it? Yeah, I think I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted. I think Højbjerg's out for the midweek, and it's just I've captained him in both midweek lineups like an idiot. So yeah, he's gonna just destroy this lineup, which is just brutal because it looks like it has a decent chance, but unfortunately, oh no, Højbjerg's in. Højbjerg's in. Confirm lineups. No flipping way. He made it. Is that right? I need to go on Twitter a minute because that could be teasing me. And if he's in, we've got a chance of bloody winning this competition, by the way. I say that without knowing anything else about the other teams. But I heard, it was known that he missed training yesterday. And, lads. No way what's happened here? No, I don't want verified followers. Is he in? No, he's not in, is he? No! It said confirmed lineups, didn't it? He's not in there, is he? Oh, lads, I knew something was going to go wrong then with SofaScore. I'm sure it said confirmed lineups. I just got teased to the max. And I'm absolutely gutted about it. I really thought my midweek lineups could have a chance. Unless I'm like... Oh, it says... Oh, yeah. That's changed, yeah. Now it says possible lineups. Ah, that is brutal. Yeah, he is out. That's gutting. That's absolutely gutting. But yeah, that makes me worried now for the weekend. Anyway, what was I going to do? I think I forgot. I'm an absolute idiot. We've done MLS, done Contender. We haven't done Champion. Let's do Champion then to finish. That's so brutal. Højbjerg, man. I just thought he made a miraculous recovery and, we were flying. But it's not to be. I can finally use my Manuel Neuer, which I'm really excited about. So this team could look really, really interesting. So many players to choose from. It's like kind of overwhelming, which I'm not complaining about, but it's just really hard to get your sort of ducks in a row. If I want to get the multi-club situation going here, I'm probably not going to use a Bayern defender because, of course, I have Kimmich. Well, not of course, but I have a Kimmich, so that means like I'm kind of done there with Bayern players. So at this point now, I need to look a little bit further on. I think Sergi Cardona at home to Girona could be really good. He was great first game. Ruben Dias could be pretty good as well, couldn't he, at home? Nico's... I can't really trust Nico, can I? My defenders aren't... not great. Or I just don't worry about the bonus situation. Biragi away to Inter. Is that ex-club there? I could be wrong. We've got Nice defenders. Yeah, I'm a bit light on defenders here, aren't I? I think I just go Diaz for now. Diaz definitely works. Other midfielder, though. Tchouaméni. We've got the Bundesliga boys back. Lo Celso at home to Alaves. That is a smash spot if I've ever seen one. We've got Luis Diaz, but unfortunately, I don't want to play another Bayern player because I want to keep the 2% bonus. Guiri at home, though, I think that'll be more than fine. Benjamin Andre at home. I've got a couple of him I could use. Harry Wilson at home to United. That could be pretty fun. At the same time, Bruno at home to Liver. Vinny away to Oviedo could be nice. But he is a bit hit and miss. Thovan away to Le Havre also sounds pretty fun. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to give the captaincy armband to Joshua Kimmich. And that is going to be my main lineup going for promotion or in the division battle in the champion comp this weekend. Other than that, we'll do one All-Star. We'll do my All-Star Super, All-Star Rare. Sorry, lads, if I've bored you for 52 minutes. I'm sure if you were bored, you've obviously clicked off at this point. If you're still here, by the way, lads, fucking hell. You don't understand how much I appreciate you, genuinely. If you've not left a like, lads, please do so, honestly. It means the absolute world to me. But I am going to prioritise All-Star this weekend for my main lineup because it is the division battle. But after the first lineup, maybe, I think I'm going to just go into Arena and just have a blast at Arena, to be honest. So let's see what I can build in Super Rare then. So we've got Luke Ayling, who smashed 100 last week, which was great. Richards at home to Nottingham Forest could actually be pretty nice. I think Bardaki, isn't it? It's hard to ignore that despite being away. Mauro Jr. at home to Groningen feels like a smash spot. Maxime at home could also be a bit of a smash spot. Yeah, let's go Mauro Jr. He's on fire right now, actually. Gutted I can't use his Super Rare in Eredivisie right now. I really need an Eredivisie in-season keeper. If I really want to give myself a chance of kicking on again in Eredivisie, because I've only been using classic Super Rare keepers there. Forwards are a little bit dodgy. I'm pretty sure Balikwisha is on his way to Celtic. I'm sure I saw that rumoured, if not confirmed. We could go Chaibi. Chaibi probably works here. Low L15, although it probably won't matter because I won't get under the cap. I don't think, unless, what do I need? Yeah, that's not going to happen, is it? I need a really low L15. Let's just go Benjamin Andre. We'll captain Mauro Jr. That's a decent looking team. Hopefully Danny Ward remembers he's got hands and not poppadoms, and hopefully we can get a little clean sheet there at home for Wrexham. At minimum, hopefully he starts, because that would be a disaster if he doesn't. And then All-Star Rare then. Hopefully we can build... I'm sure we can build a really cool team here. Let's go Costa in goal at home to Casapia. Otamendi, an absolute warrior at the back. We've got Mauro Jr. defender cards alongside Otamendi. This could be one of the best All-Star lineups right now I could ever put out. Some absolute smashers so far. Moranchuk at home to Toronto actually, interests me, to be honest. We've got Benjamin Andre. I'd like to play DePaul, but he's away. Joey Veerman's injured, isn't he? Which is really gutting. It gets kind of slim pickings after this, doesn't it? Kind of. Chambeau at home to New England's not terrible. I do like Luke Browers, actually. He started the season off really well for Herenveen. But at the same time, I think I'm just going to go Benji Andre. At home to Monaco. Should get a lot of AA. Of course, the GOAT Cicinha is at home to Jeju. So that is our Forward option, we're miles over the 360 cap. I kind of think you need to be in this week, like this weekend. Like everyone's going to be going for it. And we're just going to go like that. 439 L15 cap. Multi-club bonus though, which, you know, every little helps with that 2%. And I think, lads, that is going to be all the lineup building for today's video. Like I said, I am going to build a couple of arena lineups as well, some secondary under 23 lineups, but you know, these are all my main lineups going into this weekend. Yeah, hopefully hit a few more streaks, or ideally hit a bit of leaderboard cash. For some reason, Sorare just glitches when I do this scroll down, which is just super annoying, but what can you do? I kind of think I am done with buying though. I say that and I probably did, you know, sort of contradict myself, but I genuinely, like, I'm at a point now where, you know, what I've spent and stuff, I think I'm in, you know, in deep enough, shall we say. And really happy with the quality of lineups across different comps that I've been able to put out. So yeah, wish me good luck for this weekend, lads. I wish you all the best. Leave a like on the video if you haven't already. Honestly, the support and stuff, lads. If you're still watching this, like I said, 50 odd minutes in, genuinely means the absolute world to me. Yeah, good luck for this upcoming weekend. Good luck for the midweek. Pray for me with my Hoiberg DMP. Hopefully my other 6 players don't do too well, so it doesn't make me feel as bad. I actually captained him twice as well. I know I mentioned that already, but I'm really butthurt, lads. I appreciate you all. Have a great weekend, and I shall see you guys in the next episode.